So we have a side view. Let's make a side view. I take the back wheels, the wheels that are on the other side, and I move them over here. So because of this perspective, what we're doing basically, we are taking a car inside view and we are moving like that, okay? And we make that type of perspective. Now, when we do that, we have to check what's happening here, what's happening with the back wheels, okay? And what's happening in this area here. So when we do that, this will start disappearing because of the perspective. This wheel will move, will go backward and will create a sort of a space in between the two. And this one also, but there will be less space, almost no space between the two wheels. That's because of perspective. Of course, this point, it will be a little bit in the back, but anyway, it's almost like the rotating point, you see? So that's what I will try to reproduce, okay? And this is from a side view, basically, okay? So when I take that line, I'll bring it a little bit more in the front. I take this one, I just make a lot shorter, okay? I take that windshield and I bring a little bit backward, okay? All perspective lines are parallel to the ground, okay? You see, this one, this one, this one, this one, all parallel. So there is no converging vanishing points. Here we have a distance between the wheel and this part of the lower part of the rear bumper. And we have to reproduce a little bit the same thing here. Then I will take that line, this one. Let's say it's more like that, okay? Like that. And I replicate the same section. Then I'll put the center line, and the center line, it's not gonna be exactly in the center between those two sides because there is a little bit of round shape in zeta in top view. Therefore, the center line, it's moved more on the right, so on the other edge. And that's why it is like that. All right. So now I'm starting to see a little bit the 3/4 back view of this car. And what I need to do is just to fix it to make sure that it looks correct in terms of proportions. So there are few things I will change. Put a reflection here, reflection there. Okay, so now as you can see, we are starting to see the 3/4 back. I will start now using my markers, okay? I take blue markers. As you can see, I've chosen those markers, okay? This set of Copic markers. And I will just start very sketchy, okay, to put the dark values. You see? Now we can see the back view. Now it looks like it's correct in terms of perspective proportions. So I can just put some of the other values, like for example, the reflection on the glass, okay? I can put the reflection on the back glass. Like that, okay? Here we have our windshield. So we put just the line there, okay? Then I will take a light blue like this one, a B12. Before I do it, I just check how light it is. You see, I always check. And I will make my side reflection. There's one thing you have to know: when we use markers and we use pen, sometimes the alcohol of the markers will mix with the pen. But don't worry, I will go back with some blue pencil to give an accent to all the line quality, okay? So it's not that bad. I go back to the upper part of my shading there, so that it's a little bit more visible. And now I will take a darker marker, this one, to make the top part of the reflection. Do the same thing here. And on top, because we have a roof, and on the roof we also have a little bit of that reflection. It's almost like I'm painting. You see, you have to be very light, but at the same time, you know, at the same time you have to put the lines where we really need to put them, so that that reflections becomes credible. All right, now I'll take the very dark blue, okay, the darkest blue I have in this marker set, and I will do the darkest spot of this sketch, okay, the ones that are really in super shadow, so where there is no light. So it's the underneath part of the car. It is also the back wheels, because there is no light there. So same thing here. But here I show a little bit that triangle, because there is a little bit of light filtering on the front tire through this part of the rear bumper. Then I do a little bit here, because this is the wheel well, which is also very, very dark. And then also on the reflections, in the darkest spot of the reflection on the glass. So I take this again. All right, now we can imagine to put a sort of red light or something, okay? Let's say that we put it here. You see? Then another thing I want to do, I will take a frosted ice blue, which is a very ultralight blue, because we need to add a little bit of what is called the core, okay? The core is what we have between the reflection and this part. Basically, it's the sky tone that is concentrated where we have radiuses, okay? A little bit on top, okay? And then we have it here. The only thing I would like to do is also this, which is important for you to understand. It's that when we have this type of perspective, the center of the wheel, it moves on the right a little bit because of perspectives, okay? So we can, all the graphics we put in the wheels will be, of course, a little bit moved on the right. Put a little bit of shadow. Now we can see it much better. I will take a blue pencil, and with this one, I will try to make a better line quality so that it becomes a little bit crisp our sketch. So let's start. And of course, while I do that, I can change a little bit some sections to make it look much better. Like, for example, I did it in the front, you see? It looks much better, the interaction or the transition between the front bumper and the hood with this slightly round double S section. I also retouch a little bit the reflection, the darkest spot of the reflection. Okay, now the last thing I have to do is just to put an indication of cut line for the door. Of course, I follow the section of the body of this car. And the last thing we can do to make, let's say, to complete this sketch is just to put few highlights. So I'll put one here, few in this area, another one here, another one here, and a small one here. Then on the wheel, and the sketch is done. This is a video only for members. And thank you, by the way, to be member, to have become member of my channel. Very, very happy about that. Thank you and bye-bye. Ciao.